everybody, welcome back to the shop. Good morning, happy Monday, if there is such a thing. It's Monday. Didn't get the video out this morning, but it'll be out tonight for sure. My big plan to utilize the weekend to get the videos produced and then out by Monday morning didn't work out this weekend, but that'll change, and I'll get them out on time every Monday. So let's see. This video is a couple of things. The first part is part 2 of the rear end build, which you just saw a little bit of. I'll go into it more. And then the second part of this video is going to be the front bumper fab. I made a little bit of adjustments and stuff on the truck since I've got the time to do it. I adjusted the rear pinion angle on the rear end a little bit more, and then just freed up more suspension on the front end, but I really beefed up the front bumper, and I guess I can show you, even though you'll see it here in a minute, but beefed up the front bumper and added a longer yellow LED. So I added this bar that protrudes out farther than the lights, that way if we hit something it doesn't crunch the lights. And then I added this new, longer, brighter yellow. We use the amber yellows to penetrate through the dust when it's really dusty. Oh, and then I'm going to try out these new clamps that I got, see how well those work. So you'll see that, just little odds and ends. I did get word from the transmission shop this morning. Unfortunately, it didn't get done last week like I'd hoped, but it's okay. We still have lots of time, and it's okay because they had a family emergency and suffered a loss in their family. So our thoughts and prayers are to the great folks at Competition Transmission in North Las Vegas. So yeah, so that's that. So he called me this morning, told me that we're #1 on his priority list, and he knows I'm under the gun for it, and we need it for testing. So he was working on it right when I spoke to him, and he'll have it done tomorrow. So I'll make a trip into town tomorrow and pick it up, and then I'll get it in by the weekend. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So okay, back to the rear end, part 2 of the rear end video. You saw it cut out, and it cut perfectly, nice and clean. The feed rate was perfect. Torch height was perfect, and the most important thing is it read the program and followed the program perfectly. So this brings me to why I didn't get the video done during the weekend. So steel, metal right now is really hard to get, like ridiculous. I don't know if it's a China thing or what, but everything's really expensive. And just finding it has been a pain. So to go into production with this, I want to make them out of 1/8" steel plate, mild steel, plenty strong enough. So I had to order that from a wholesaler, and I ordered it over a month ago, and we haven't got it yet. So I was hoping, because I want to get these videos, I wanted to get these videos made and get them released. I was hoping just to find a sheet somewhere that I can just use for filming purposes, and I wasn't able to find that size sheet anywhere. So long story short, if I'm not too late for that, this stuff is thinner gauge. I don't remember what gauge this is. It's like 16 or 14 or something, but I have that. I have a whole bunch of that in stock. So for video purposes and testing of the program, it worked fine. So now that we cut that out, what you'll see in this video is we'll bend it and get it broke to geometry, and double check all the measurements and everything. We'll compare it to our master model over there that was made by pros, and yeah, and then probably in the next video 3, will be we'll set it up in the jig. And we'll start welding it together, and we'll put it in the jig to make sure everything is in alignment and correct. That way when you put your axles in it and stuff, everything lines up. So anyway, that's part 3. So yeah, That's it. So I'm babbling on now. Yeah. All right, let's go. Okay. So as we get ready to break everything, this is this, just like this. You can see that there. As this comes up, it makes this shape, right? So there has to be a bend pattern. There has to be a way and a sequence that you bend everything. That way the brake lever can get in there. So basically what I have to do is bend these up first, like this, and then I can go in with the press brake and break all of those up to make this shape. So to do that with this thinner stuff, I can use my regular brake right across here. And I have these gauges that came with the rear end. Those fit perfectly in there. This angle is this one here, and so forth. You get the idea. These all fit perfectly in there. These are the gauges that determines what degree my bends are. Eventually I'm going to take those gauges, I'm going to make dies. That way each press has a die in it, and you just go down the assembly line and press them exactly. So right now though, until I get all the dimensions absolutely perfect, I don't want to spend the money on making the dies just yet. So I had to make these gauges with this template. So I'll put it in the brake, and we'll bend the ears, I guess you call them ears, these up, and then we'll put it in the hydraulic press brake, which is kind of overkill because this is the lighter gauge stuff, but I just want to, for show and tell reasons, we'll put it in the brake, the hydraulic press brake, and we'll break it, and we'll get the geometry down, and then we'll test it with the gauges. And if it's a little off, we can just bend them out until they all line up. But basically, the way all this is triangulated and these angles are made, when it's all put together right, they should line up just like this. So, yeah. Okay, let's do it. Okay, that worked out really, really well. It was a good test to see how well all my geometry and mathematics of that worked out. And it worked out really good. And I'm able to do it with the press brakes that I have. So, yeah. And it worked out well that I had the thinner gauge metal because it enabled me to use the regular bend brake over there. Normally, when we get to manufacturing these, I'll be using the bigger press brake here, the hydraulic one. It'll be pneumatic also, like the littler one. It's wide enough that I'm able to get the whole pattern in there to do that first set of bends. The little press brake, the hydraulic one, it's not wide enough. So I wouldn't be able to get the thicker metal in there because it was too wide. So it actually worked out pretty well that we were able to use the handbrake on the first set of bins. So basically what I'm saying is when we have the heavier gauge metal, the normal stuff that we're going to manufacture these with, I'll be able to go to the first set of bins in the big press and then the last set of bins in the smaller press. And yeah, since it all worked out, I'm going to go ahead and make the dies. That way you just slide it in there and I won't have to use the gauges. The dies will automatically get the correct angle of bend in there. So, but as you can see, worked out really, really well. Everything lines up really good. So yeah, pretty stoked about it. Right on. The next video, we'll get the mounting plate in with the tubes and the inner supports that the axles go through, and then where the differential bolts onto. So I'll try to get video of cutting those. I don't know. I might just go ahead and cut them and have them all ready to go, and then we'll jig it all up and then start welding it. So yeah, all right, worked out. So yep. All right, everybody have a good week. Be safe. Thanks for subscribing and hit the bell and the thumbs up, and we'll see you next week.
Meanwhile, Brad Lovell was having a great race in the vintage open class.
That sucks.
2017 mid-400 champion.